Hey Travis.
Hello?
Yep, I'm right here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, the call before I couldn't hear any.
Yeah, it sounded like from deep outer
How
space.
you doing?
I'm good, man. How is your day slash early evening going?
Amazing. I just spent the day in the studio just making music, and yeah, that's pretty much what I do every day. Make music.
Yeah, I was kind of gonna say just based on the career you've had, how many days you have to yourself where no studio or music creation is involved. It's got to be far and few between.
Yeah, it's rare. If I'm home, I'm in the studio every day working on something, and I've always said, like, it's rare I don't have anything, but if I don't have anything, I'm starting something or creating something, and yeah, I'm just blessed to be really busy. And to be honest, the days I'm not here, or the days I'm not playing drums or like playing a show or recording music, is sort of feel incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly a crazy perspective just to hear it directly from you. But in terms of your writing process, on those days where maybe that the outlet isn't shining as bright as it can, or something's feeling forced. If you're in the studio or with another artist or with Blink or Kelly, whoever it is, will you sort of put your hand up and say, let's not force this today, or do you usually grind through it?
Well, if we're stuck on an idea and we can't like find the right words or a melody we love or the music's off, we usually pivot and go to something else. Or sometimes knowing that sometimes you just need to get something out of your system. Maybe like the first song you write in a session isn't the one, and the second one. I was just in a session the other day with my friend. It's an artist named Slow Tie, and
Yep.
we did a song. We're like, oh, this is really cool. And we're like, oh, let's just mess with another idea. And the second idea was amazing, and we went back to the first idea. We're like, we probably don't even need the first idea. Like, it doesn't even compare to the second. So sometimes you just need to get something out of your system. And then, I'm a big fan of also in like sessions, there's usually like myself. If it's Kel's MGK, then we'll have like my friend Nick plays guitar, and with three different people in the room, like someone has a great idea, or like I was in a session the other day, and the artist didn't know what to write about, and he's like, "Man, give me something to write about." And I gave him a concept to write about. Sometimes just having another set of eyes and ears in the studio helps a lot.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense, and yeah, it's kind of a great way to look at it if you sort of hit a wall, to kind of be a glass half full and kind of have the perspective that something's going to come out of it if you push in the right way.
Yeah, and it's like being in a band, a new band every day. Like the sessions that I'm in, because like today I'm in with Swaco. Yesterday I was in with a different artist. The day before that I was in with a different artist. So you're almost in a new band every day. It's cool, and there's fresh ideas. And sometimes, like I was in a rap session a few days ago, and then I jumped into like I don't know, like a rock session today, and it just keeps you fresh. And doing the same thing every day, being repetitive, I don't think's healthy. So yeah, being able to mix it up, and feel like I'm so blessed to work with so many different types of artists. It's just easy.
Yep, you've got probably one of the most eclectic palettes in the industry working today. So I think people that have started with you since Enema and sort of to see the impact you've had across genre, it's just all the doors have sort of been open, and it's probably helped your listeners out as well, right? To just keep an open mind. So thank you for that.
I hope people that have just followed my career or just been along for the ride. I hope I did turn some people on to some
Yeah.
genres of music they didn't love, or I don't know. I feel like we're in such a great time now in 2022. Everyone listens to everything. You're not like beat up for it. Beautiful thing.
Yeah, the caste system has come down. Travis, just a specific question. Curious. We've talked about sort of, how refreshing it is to be sort of a part of a new band every day. But back to your existing band, Blink. I know for good reason, obviously, through the pandemic and in light of Mark's world kind of turning upside down, which we can speak to sort of, you know, ha- a happy outcome, even though I'm sure him and his family and you guys have been through so much. After 9, there was a lot of communication through you and Mark and Matt about new material, new music. Quite a few interesting collaborations were mentioned: Grimes, Uzi, Juice, and you guys sounded enthused about the material. A return to the Take Off Your Pants and Jacket sound, and I think it's quite apparent maybe why a reboot was needed. But where does that material currently sit? It sounded like an EP or an LP was ready to go, and I think Mark recently kind of said, you're wiping the slate clean. So is that material gone for good? And for people eager to sort of hear Blink's next evolution, how far are we away from that?
Well, I think with what happened to Mark and what Mark went through this year, we just stopped doing everything Blink related. And there was some really cool records that came out of that time. Like there's a record we did with Mark, myself, Pharrell, and Uzi.
Yep.
That might come out on like my solo project. But I think it's a matter of like Mark being in a really, really great place where he feels like he's in a good headspace and we can record again, and that'll be amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible to hear. So it kind of sounds like whatever material was finished may see the light of day. It just might not live under the Blink banner. Yeah,
it could. I think like definitely the Uzi one will come out. It'll see the light of day. There's also, there's a couple things. We used the Mark verse on X's last album that came out, but there is like a version of the XXXTentacion song that has Mark and Lil Wayne on it. There's just like a couple cool collabs that might come out, in between now and the next Blink album. But yeah, I think what's like most important is Mark's in a great place and he's healthy. And then when that happens and he's in a great headspace and everyone feels good, there'll be another Blink album.
Yep. Yeah, thank you so much for the transparency on that. And of course, we're all going to be patient until the time's right.
Yeah.
It's incredible to talk to you. I guess one last question is, throughout Blink's career specifically, was there a song that you were a part of that directly inspired your motivation or fascination with production and songwriting itself, or you're like, the sounds on this record, the writing process between you, Mark, and Matt, or you, Mark, and Tom, was a catalyst, sort of a vessel into you really stepping into your own as a solo artist?
I would say Enema. That was like, I was touring Dude Ranch, and I was just playing, songs from Cheshire Cat and Dude Ranch. And I remember we got into like write Enema, and I had all these ideas. Like, I had an idea of like to make a song that was like What's My Age Again, with the, the rhythm of guitars and drums, everything in unison does the ba cha ba ba cha ba ba cha ba ba, and the drums have like this weird pattern, like, because everything right then was it was like a punk beat for everything, and I was like, you guys, it would be cool if it was like mid tempo, and then like all the small things, like it could be like a slower song, and they're like, what do you mean, like a ballad? And I'm like, no, it can still have like big guitars, but it could just be like almost like your basic rock beat, but so I think that was like when I came in, and then they wouldn't have ideas for bridges, or they would be, wondering about something. I'm like, oh, I have an idea for a bridge. I think bridges are my specialty, or like figuring out parts or arranging songs. And I didn't know what that was. I just knew, I was like, the song should start like this. This should be the bridge. This is the transition. These are the accents that we can do in the chorus. And I had all these ideas. This is the outro. It could end with like this big double drum outro where I record like multiple tracks of drums. But I just thought it was like, hey, me doing my part. And I realized like I just loved production. I loved being, more of a part of the song and the songwriting than just playing my drums.
Yeah, talk about the staying power of Enema. We're going back to 1999, so that was unleashed so long ago, and it's taken you so far. So it's incredible. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love that album. And like, speaking of, I was gonna play the next song I'm gonna play, which is like the last song I'm gonna play, is our, we made a cover of like Letters to Elise by The Cure, but that band inspired me a lot. And I don't know if the version that we recorded is on Apple Music, but I'm gonna play like the Cure version of it because that's a rad song.
Yeah, of course, The Cure is so important to Blink Sound. And yeah, I guess before I let you go, what would you say is your pinnacle crowning achievement of a full project that you've ever been a part of? I'm gonna suspect that it's the Blink-182 untitled self-titled record. Is that correct, or do you have a different opinion?
I think Blink wise, it would be yeah, the self-titled, untitled, whatever anyone wants to call it. That was like right after I did Boxcar Racer, and I did like my first Transplants album, and I was just really fresh. I guess Transplants was actually the first one, but that was a very experimental album, and I think that led to me coming back and being like, guys, we can break the rules. We don't have to follow like this formula, and like Feeling This can have 5 different drum beats, and they're going to be break beats, and there's going to be a cowbell in the pre-choruses, you know, or the choruses. So that like, it really like opened up everyone's eyes, and it was a really cool time to be experimental, but still like not alienate our fan base and still make, you know, songs that everyone could like really, really dig. But we were also happy as like musicians, and we were happy with the songwriting and the music. So that, I would say that one for Blink. And then I would say for me personally, like my first project I produced from, you know, front to back is Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly. And I just, you know, Kells works like me. He's like relentless. He will stop at nothing, and he will work insane hours like I will. And he's okay with making 100 different versions of each song and just really, really striving to be the best we can be. So that's like the project that I did, you know, first project that I executive produced and produced the entire album that I'm really proud of.
Yep, yeah, it's incredible. Thank you. Thanks so much for your time, Travis.
Yeah, great talking to you.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Yeah, my name's Josh. I'm from New York, so I appreciate meeting you.
Of course, it was a pleasure talking to you. You had great questions.
Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. All right, here's